Hello, today I'll be doing a video on a teacher. A teacher develops an inappropriate relationship with her student. The premise itself really bothers me, mainly because this is such a huge issue in real life. So many teachers have been caught sexually assaulting their students who have barely reached puberty. In this show, it's obvious they're trying to be as PC as possible, since it would be disgusting to show an actual 12-year-old kissing a grown woman, so they would have to bump the age up to senior. It reminded me a lot of The Boy Next Door with Jennifer Lopez, where her victim was technically legal in order to take the sting out. Another reason why I contemplated not watching this was because I myself have experience with predatory behavior from female teachers when I was in school. Thankfully, nothing bad ever happened. Moving on to the actual show. Episode 1 follows a new young teacher named Claire, played by Kate Mara. There's obviously something missing in her marriage and in her life in general. She shoplifts just for the hell of it and seems unfulfilled in many ways. She also seems emotionally immature, but not in an obvious way. She's a normal adult that tends to do odd things here and there. She starts tutoring one of her students who wants to go to the same college as she did. The show is fine so far. It's definitely a slow build. The show is kinda realistic in a sense where it's not an exciting atmosphere. None of the characters are particularly interesting. Just like in real life, most people are dull as dirt. I did think it was a cop-out to make the student a senior since he's basically 18 anyway. I think they should have just taken the sexual contact out, and then you could have definitely displayed a dynamic between a minor and an adult. The movie Una did a good job at this, although that movie involves an older man and a younger girl, and I think the industry is more comfortable with that dynamic than showing an older woman with a much younger boy. I rarely see that. Instead, if the boy is underage, he looks like a man. And for some reason, they don't want to portray women in that much of a negative light. I was also surprised at how short the episodes were, especially since after this week, we're only getting one episode per week, which is annoying. We're waiting 7 days just to watch 20 minutes. Episode 2. A lot of coincidences keep happening that make the teacher Claire and the student Eric interact more and more outside of tutoring. It was plausible, but a little too convenient, especially the part where the cop just happens to be related to Claire. There's also a strong message about how you should not grow up too fast. And I knew this beforehand, but it's very important to live your youth. It's very important to growth. Otherwise, you could end up with some emotional problems later on. You're going to be in your 40s trying to relive and relate to people in your 20s, which is ass backwards, and it's a problem I see a lot in real life, and I think it's something that needs to be talked about. But that doesn't justify getting involved with minors. We find out more about Claire's husband and what he did with their savings. It was really bizarre, and I personally think he's an idiot. He's also dealing with mental issues as well and can't get past his youth stage. So you pretty much have a dysfunctional relationship that isn't being addressed. Episode 3. Claire and her husband are still trying to have a baby. I was disappointed that they never addressed what the husband did in the previous episode. I wanted to know more about the husband and more about the relationship between the two of them. Instead, we're at the doctor's office and talking about different ways that Claire can have a kid. It's like the drama in the previous episode didn't even happen. Maybe this was to show that they don't communicate. Also, Claire is apprehensive about tutoring Eric because he crossed the line with her, and she's battling her own feelings for him and is even jealous when she sees him flirting with another girl. The show is okay so far. I will watch the next episodes every week. I don't like the fact that the student is made out to be mature. I know he grew up in a single parent home and probably has to help out with his siblings. He also has to have a part-time job. Thus, those things will age him faster, but I don't like this creative choice. Not only did they make him 17, 18 years old, but they made him older than his years, and this sort of justifies what is about to happen. And people are going to start thinking, oh, that's not too bad. Of course she would be attracted to him. He's not an idiot like his friends. He's not a kid. He's older than his years. It's not really her fault, and I think that's kind of shitty. Relationships like this in reality are gross and incomprehensible. Like, you're supposed to be scratching your head whenever you see an adult be attracted to someone in middle school. That should be a hard concept to grasp. It shouldn't be a situation where you could understand where the teacher is coming from, like this show is promoting. And in real life, the victims are usually boys younger than 14. They don't look like they're in their early 20s. And I feel like they're really trying hard to make the woman seem less like a villain, and they would never do that with a man. And I give the show like a 5 out of 10. It's only the first 3 episodes. Like I said before, it's okay. It's like not groundbreaking. I've actually seen Lifetime movies that were slightly more entertaining, but yeah, 5 out of 10.